Over the past few years, I think we've all felt the sting of a broken supply chain. But quick fixes and patches just aren't cutting it anymore. So today, we're going to go beyond the temporary solutions and really explore how to build a supply chain that's truly resilient, one that's designed not just to survive a crisis, but to actually thrive in it.
So, let's kick things off with a little question. What do these three things, toilet paper, cars, and computers, all have in common? I bet you have a few ideas, especially if you've tried to buy any of them recently.
Yep, you probably guessed it. From those hauntingly empty shelves where toilet paper was supposed to be, to the insane delays for new cars because of a tiny microchip, they have all been casualties of the exact same global problem, a fragile, brittle supply chain.
And that brings us right to our first section. Before we can build something better, we have to understand what we're aiming for. So what does it even mean for a supply chain to be the opposite of broken? What does it really mean to be resilient?
Okay, so here's the core idea. Resilience isn't just about taking a punch and surviving. It's the ability to withstand a major disruption, bounce back fast, and here's the really crucial part. Keep doing what you're supposed to be doing the whole time. It's all about continuity.
Now, you might be thinking, isn't this just good old-fashioned risk management? Well, not quite. And this is a key distinction. Traditional risk management is all about preparing for the predictable problems you can see coming. Resilience, on the other hand, is about building a system that can handle the completely unforeseen shocks. It's a major shift from prevention to adaptation.
So how in the world do we build this kind of adaptive system? Well, it turns out it rests on three key pillars. And understanding these is absolutely fundamental if we're going to design a chain that can actually last. First up, we have flexibility. This is all about your ability to adjust your processes and resources pretty much on the fly. Remember early in the pandemic when clothing companies, car manufacturers, you name it, suddenly pivoted their entire production lines to make PPE? That is a perfect example of flexibility in action.
Pillar number 2 is agility. Now, if flexibility is about changing what you do, agility is all about how fast you can do it. It's about sensing a shift in the market and just reacting instantly. The classic example is fast fashion. Think about how a brand like Zara can spot a trend and have a new product in their stores in just a matter of weeks. That's agility.
And our third and final pillar is robustness. You can think of this as the raw strength of your supply chain, its ability to take a direct hit and not go down for the count. For instance, a car company that sources a critical part from 3 different suppliers instead of just one, they are building robustness, because if one of those suppliers goes down, the assembly line keeps right on moving.
Okay, so we have our 3 pillars: flexibility, agility, and robustness. But to really understand how to build them into our systems, we've got to go a little deeper. We need to look below the surface of our day-to-day operations.
And this is a fantastic framework for doing just that, the iceberg model. See, at the very top, above the water, you have the event level. That's what we do, our immediate visible actions. But the real power is below the surface, the patterns of how we do things, the structure of the systems we use, and way down at the bottom, the mental model, the core beliefs and culture that secretly drive everything else.
All right, so now let's put this model to work. This is really where the rubber meets the road. We're going to use this iceberg model to forge those 3 pillars of resilience we just talked about. So first up, let's tackle flexibility. How can we use this deep dive model to build a supply chain that's way more adaptable?
Well, flexibility is built at 2 different levels. At the very top, the event level, it's all about reactive, short-term fixes, scrambling to find a new supplier when your main one goes dark. But true, lasting flexibility, that's built way deeper, at the structure level. This is about being proactive, like having multiple transportation options already lined up so you can switch from ship to plane at a moment's notice.
Okay, 1 pillar down. Let's keep going and apply the same logic to our second pillar: agility. How do we get our system to sense and respond faster?
Agility comes from even deeper inside the iceberg. At the patterns level, it's about seeing trends over time. Are you noticing consistent dips in a supplier's on-time performance? That's a pattern, and it's your signal to act before a full-blown crisis. But the ultimate source of agility is at the deepest level, the mental model. It's about building adaptability right into your company culture, like cross-training your teams so anyone can step in when needed.
And that brings us to our final pillar: robustness. How do we build a supply chain with that raw strength to just power through major shocks? Robustness is also built from the deep levels. Down at the structure level, it's about your operational backbone, things like having backup distribution centers or secured lines of credit. But the foundation of it all, again, is the mental model. It's about a leadership team that sees resilience not as a cost you pay during a crisis, but as a strategic asset you invest in during peacetime.
Okay, so now that we've forged the pillars, let's put it all together. Let's see what this new kind of supply chain actually looks like in action. Because this isn't just about surviving anymore, it's about being designed to thrive.
You see, when you integrate these three pillars, you create a system that's truly multidimensional. Robustness acts like a shield that lets you endure the initial hit. Agility is your footwork. It lets you respond and pivot super fast. And flexibility is your deep toolkit that lets you adapt your strategy to a whole new reality. They make you strong, fast, and adaptable all at once.
And this quote really captures the entire goal perfectly. We're trying to build a supply chain that doesn't just withstand disruptions, but one that actually thrives under changing conditions. It's about turning uncertainty from a threat into an opportunity.
So, I'll leave you with this one final question to think about. When you look at your own systems, your own business, is it simply built to withstand the next shock, or is it truly designed to thrive in it? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.